Well, rail fans, this is Bob from the Bob's N-Scale Man Cave. I'm out here visiting Kennefic Park, the home of Centennial DDA40X number 6900. I also have here a Bachmann N-Scale version of this model, of the prototypical one we see right here. We're going to take a little look. Hey ManCavians, this is Bob from the Bob's N-Scale Man Cave. We're going to do a continued review on the Bachmann DDA40X in N-Scale that James Wright and myself did last week. I'm going to go in a little bit more detail on what we may have missed, and I feel that is worthy of checking out. So let's get right down to it, shall we? This DDA40X comes equipped with the Sound Value sound decoder by Soundtrax. The locomotive sound prototype with the EMD 567 prime movers, you can hear both engines running up. Comes with dual motors with flywheels. You can program on the main with the right DCC decoder, of course, or controller actually. It has 16 wheel drive. That means all 16 wheels are pulling. Directional lighting with operating gumball light, which you can see the gumball light blinking right there. It also has weathered air intakes and exhaust. And we can look at that as well. And it comes with the Easy Mate Mark II couplers. See those right there. They work pretty good. I hook right up to my microtrains couplers pretty well. In fact, they don't want to let go for some reason, which is a good thing. I don't want any decouplings. Now the 6940 is the Sound Value version that I just recently obtained. The 6900 is the DC version, and that does have an operating gumball, and the directional lighting does work. There's some differences between the two. What I can kind of see is the DC version here slightly has a little bit darker paint than the DCC Sound Value version. Let's move on to operations. Okay, first of all, let's start off with the headlight. Headlight on the front, on the back. When you go into reverse, the light gets brighter. When you go forward, it gets dimmer. And the light on the front gets brighter. It goes dimmer if you go in reverse. Let's turn on the gumball light, which is F5. The headlight is 0 or F10. And the gumball light looks like a real rotating beacon. Let's take a look at the number boards. This is F6. Turn off F6. Okay, let's turn them all on. Headlights, gumball, and the number boards. Let's turn up the sound. and we'll put it in shutdown mode. Also, if you look at the headlight, I'm going to turn off these number boards. Look at the headlight. If you press F7, it gets dimmer. So if you don't want it as bright at night, if you have all the lights off, you can have it a little bit dimmer, or brighter, or dimmer, or brighter. Okay, let's listen to the bell. The horn. And the long horn, as long as you hold it. And there's a short horn. Momentarily it does that. Or if you hold it, it just does one. Let go, it does another one. Not too bad. Let's take a little trip, shall we? This is probably on like 1 or 2 speed steps. Can't really tell with the Digitrack Zephyr. And up we go. So far it looks pretty good. It runs nice. I love the sound. Let's take a look at how much it can pull. Let's try that. I'm sure you're dying to find out how many cars I can pull with this thing. Let's take a look. Okay, here comes this engine with the sound off. You can hear it seems to be struggling. The wheels are slipping. And we're pulling some auto racks, some boxcars, some Microtrains container car set, more boxcars, and some flat cars. We're going to bring it around here one more time. On my Digitrack system I have the speed set to 4. So it's about 80% speed. And the engine's pulling it pretty good, but it seems to be struggling a little bit. Let's switch engines to the non-sound version. Okay, same speed setting, different engine without the sound. Seems to be handling this just fine. It's not struggling to maintain this speed, as the sound one seems to be struggling. Okay, I think I have hit a limit of what this thing can pull. What I have is these 5 auto racks, this other double auto rack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 added coal cars onto the ones we had on there before. It gets around to a corner and it has problems pulling all the way around there. Now that is a lot of cars for just one engine. And this is the Sound Value version 6940. So let's see what the non-sound one can do. Okay, I switched that out for number 6900, non-sound value version of the DDA40X. Let's see what this one can do. Start turning it up. And it pulls the consist that got stuck with the other engine on it. I'm only at 3 on the Digitrax scale. I'm up to 5 now. One thing I had to do is I had to move this boxcar up to right behind the engine because the coupler for this Microtrain steel auto rack would slide down and allow the coupler on the Bachmann engine to rise up and thus decouple under load. This one does not do that. It locks in there pretty good. So I'm going to move that one up there and do this pull test one more time. This is on a 4, basically the same consist, but with the non-sound one it pulls it just fine all the way around the curves. Slows down a little bit around some of the curves. They're all 18-inch curves. Well, ManCavians, here you go. I MU'd the 2 engines together. I'm pulling a 33 car consist around my layout in ManCave. I'm sure I could put more cars on there, but I think the weight of the cars on the couplers make it a little bit precarious around some of these short 18-inch radius curves. Otherwise I put more on. Well, let's take a look at programming these guys using Digitrax Zephyr DS51. Let's see what the differences are. I've got here a Bachmann 6929 road number of the DDA40X right here. This comes with Sound Value sound and DCC already inside. As you can see, the road number that is programmed is 03, the default. I'm going to program this engine for its road number of 6929 with a Digitrax box. So hit program key, directory, hit loco twice to get the address number 4, type 6929 and press the CV write, WR. And it says 6929. Press CV-RD for CV read, and it comes back as 6929. Now, I've also got a non-sound value DD40X, number 16900. This one, however, requires a 1000 ohm resistor to be laid across the program track to give it some more resistance. It doesn't have enough resistance to properly be read by the Digitrax. So what I was testing today was, will the sound value that's in this one here be able to be read correctly on a Digitrax Zephyr or any Digitrax system. And it can. Well, there you have it, ManCavians. Here's the more detailed view of the DDA40X from Bachmann trains. And we took a look at what the differences were between a DCC version with sound and without sound. My conclusion is it's a pretty good engine. It has a lot of pulling power. The sound version does not seem to have the same amount of pulling power, at least in the model I have, as the one without sound. I pulled a 33 car consist with the one without sound, and that same consist failed to be pulled around with the one with sound. I did MU the two engines together. That seemed to work just fine. I showed you what happens when you program this on the program track using the DC without sound. You need that 1000 ohm resistor on the track so that it will read the decoder. With the sound version, you do not need a resistor to get it to read the decoder and program the road number and all the other CVs if you want to do that. With that being said, I showed you the lights, lighted number boards, the details on the engine. I kind of noticed I might have taken the bottom piece off where the sound speaker goes in on the one without sound, and I might have flipped that around, but it's still a pretty good engine, and I hope you have a good time with yours. Until next time, guys, this is Bob from Bob's N-Scale Man Cave signing out. Toot toot! Hey Man Cave, this is Bob from Bob's N-Scale Man Cave. We're going to do a continued review on the Bachmann DDA40X in N-Scale that James Wright and myself did last week.